Your foot is the first point of contact between the ground and the rest of your body. This video is all about your feet. The feet are one of the most overlooked parts of your body, but truthfully, they're one of the most important. A lot of times people think that they can do all this stuff with their workouts, they can stretch their body, they can strengthen their body, but people don't ordinarily think about their feet that much because they use their feet all day long. That's true if we were in a society that didn't primarily walk down paved roads and didn't primarily have extremely supportive shoes. Your feet are a super complex portion of your body that's comprised of a whole bunch of bones, tendons, ligaments, and muscles that are all supposed to work together and work together pretty intricately. If you pull off your sock and your shoe for a second and actually look at how your foot is formed, you'll notice that your arch and your toes and the front of your foot and your heel, all these little pieces of the foot are designed to be able to move independently and to be able to support you in a lot of different ways. Your foot is the first point of contact between the ground and the rest of your body. It's literally the sensory organ by which your knees and your hips receive input to figure out how to move. You're stacking all of your body weight on top of these little tiny joints. And if those little joints aren't working well, they won't properly prepare your knees and your hips and your core for the movement that you're about to produce. You can see where there's a lot of risk and opportunity for your body to not function as it should. People mistakenly start to think that their bodies are somehow messed up, but all they really need to do is take a little bit of care of their feet. So how do you take care of your feet? Well, one of the first things you can start by doing is massaging your feet regularly. If you have some time in between your work or you're at your office, kick off your shoes for a second, just rub your feet, allow your toes and everything to move. If you go to move your feet and you realize that your feet are completely locked down, well, then that is definitely going to be an issue for you. The other area that you can start working on is taking your shoes off more often. If you're going to walk outside, especially if you're going to go on the grass, all those little bumps in the grass can help your feet to loosen up and reacclimate themselves to becoming strong. A third area that you can work on is starting to work towards using minimalist shoes or shoes that are not very supportive at all. We have mistakenly, in my opinion, gotten on the track of propping everybody's feet up with orthotics. Those orthotics end up making your feet weak over time. It's like putting your foot in a cast. So while they may temporarily help whatever pain issue you're having above the ankle and foot, long term they're actually making you weaker and less resilient. If you do decide to take that path, or if you start to decide, you know what, I'm not going to work with orthotics anymore, remember that you have to transition yourself out of them slowly in incremental stages because your body's used to relying on them. A fourth and final thing that you can do is to develop a series of fidgets. I like to take my feet on a regular basis and curl my toes and extend them. I also like to do a lot of ankle rolls, and I'll periodically move to the sides of my feet to stand on different sides of my feet. If you watch a baby when they're laying on the ground or sitting at a chair, they'll often move their feet all the time. And remember that at one point, all of us were just little piles of mush that we call babies. And we had to figure out how to strengthen our bodies with no coaching whatsoever. Most of the time, the reflexes the babies develop are good for us to get back into the practice of too. So think about moving your ankles and feet often. The long-term benefit of this to you is that you should develop more strength, you should be able to run and walk easier, and you should have less risk for knee pain and hip pain. You need to keep it strong and flexible. You may also want to consider doing some of your workouts barefoot. It'll give you a great opportunity to be able to feel the ground, and we've actually changed some of our perspectives on movements like squats and lunges, whereas previously we used to tell everybody to put their pressure on their heel. Through advanced science, we've found out that the big toe being in contact with the ground and the foot grabbing the ground is actually a great way to get more butt strength. Butt strength is tied to all kinds of benefits as far as strength, pain reduction, and increased function. So move your feet, feel better.